In the last few videos, we went through the 3 stages of design thinking. Stage 1, empathize and define. Stage 2, ideate and imagine. And stage 3, prototype and testing. But if you know anything about being a human, you know that humans are very complex. So a huge part of the architect's lens has to be embracing human complexity. Hi, I'm Kalima Fergus Ayele, CEO of Round Trip Ticket Home, where we use design thinking tools to support school leadership teams in building cultures of connection and belonging. Why design thinking tools? Well, design thinking tools are a human-centered approach to problem solving. And the reason why we call the company Round Trip Ticket Home is based in a tale, a myth, if you will, that is quite popular in our country. It's the story of the Wizard of Oz. A young heroine named Dorothy gets lost in a wild and wonderful new world. In her search for finding her way back home, she manages to make some companions. A scarecrow who is looking for intelligence, a tin man who is seeking compassion, and a lion who's looking for courage. They finally make their way to the powerful Wizard of Oz, who they believe has the ability to grant them their deepest desires. But when they arrive, they find out, much to their surprise, that this wizard isn't powerful at all. In fact, he has no power. And in the end, they realize that everything that they wanted, they had within themselves. I believe that we all can find our way back to our home, be it a sense of safety, connection, and belonging within ourselves. As a systems design architect, I've found that usually there is a bit of a gap between our strategic goals and our human values. Sometimes we say we value community, but yet our meetings are rife with emphasis on efficiency and productivity. If that happens at the expense of our compassion for one another, we have a crack in our system. Our ability to embrace the complexity of our own humanity allows us to ask ourselves, does this choice honor the humanity of the people we serve? So the first step is to really take a look at our values. Our values form the foundation of who we are and how we show up in the world. So before you design a schedule or create a new curriculum, it's important to anchor yourself in the values that you want to hold true. What are your values if you're designing your own life schedule? And do the choices you make actually support the values that you've chosen? What about for your organization? What are the stated values of your community? And when you look at the website, look and see what those values are. And then look and see whether or not those same values are echoed internally in the documents that you share and in the work that you do. Is there an anchor value of belonging or innovation or integrity? If the values are not named clearly, then oftentimes the community defaults to a sense of urgency, reacting haphazardly to any challenge that arises. In one of my earlier videos, I shared a metaphor of a broken teacup. In that situation, there was no way to know that the cup had a crack in it until I added hot water to it. Are there places in your work or in your community where there's leaks? What are those cracks? In many cases, those cracks are due to a lack of alignment in values. So take a moment to review some of the values in this document. Here's your design challenge for the week. The next time you have to make a decision, large or small, apply the values filter. Think about your strategic goal. For example, we need to finish this report. And then think about your values. Well, our team values well-being. So then you might want to adjust the design. Instead of a late night Zoom, we're doing a 20-minute morning meeting so everyone can unplug tonight. At one point in my own leadership, when I was leading a private school in New York City, I had to step away to care for an aging parent. That was when I really recognized the importance of value alignment. I had to ask, does this change honor my family's need for presence? Does it align with my purpose as a leader in this stage of my career? Fortunately, I had a strong team, supportive students and families that were generous and caring for me during that transition. I know that's not always the case, so it's important to do a self-check in your community may need to be designed so that they're more resilient to handle the life changes for members of that community. We'll continue to dive into the design thinking frameworks during our conversations on this platform. We'll be mapping out how to build the systems that allow for the complexity of being human. If you're ready to move beyond the grind and into more intentional design, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss a step in the videos that I'm sharing. Let me know in the comments, what is the one value that you want to anchor your life and leadership this month? See you around the campfire. Bye.